This is video 5 in the series for Cisco 132 Routing Protocols and Concepts. This video will be how to configure EIGRP in our enterprise network. Now we're going to go back in time, and in our last video with RIP we had configured each router with RIP. So we're going to go back before that to where we had just configured our workstations and our default gateways on our routers. So we hadn't actually put any routing yet, so we were not able to connect from our workstations on our LANs to any remote workstations. So last time we configured RIP, which is a distance vector protocol. This video we'll talk about EIGRP, which is also a distance vector routing protocol. And when we say distance vector, what we mean is that the routers are going to share their routing tables, and we'll just add the distance or the cost from one router to the other to the distance that the routing table from the other router had in its table. So if the metric for Granite City to get to his LAN was 100, and the cost of this link was 50, then this router will add 50 to the cost of 100, and his feasible distance then would be 150. The path with the lowest cost is then called the successor. So that's how EIGRP works. It's a distance vector protocol. Unlike RIP, though, EIGRP is much more robust. There's a lot more functionality. With EIGRP, we can route not only just IP, but AppleTalk, DECnet, and remember, EIGRP is Cisco's proprietary protocol, so it is by far the best protocol you could ever hope for. So we'll do a little configuring here, and the first thing we have to do when we configure EIGRP is give an autonomous system number in the command. Now this command has to be duplicated throughout the network. So if I give the autonomous system number of 2 on the Granite City router, I have to make sure that I use the autonomous system number 2 for the other routers as well. If you remember with RIP, we had one network statement. Well, with EIGRP, we have a little more functionality here, and I can use a scalpel and say, look, I want this interface to be in our routing tables, but not this other interface. So since I have 3 interfaces here, I may only want 2, so I'd only put in 2 network statements. But I do want to put in all 3. So we put in the network, the word network, we put in the IP address of the network, and then we use a wildcard mask instead of the subnet mask. Now again, why they chose the subnet mask, or the wildcard mask or the subnet mask, I don't know. But one of the nice things about RIP, or about EIGRP, is that it is a little more forgiving. So if I made a mistake and I did put in the subnet mask, it actually takes it. So I got that going for me, huh? Let's see, that serial interface would be 208. Now this wildcard mask is very similar to what we did over here when we configured the range of our IP scheme. So if I take 255, 255, 255 and I subtract the mask, that's what I'll get my wildcard mask. Alright, we will configure the Belleville router. And remember, I got to use the same autonomous system number to make sure the two will talk. And we got 1.128, 0.0.63. We got network 192, 168, 1.208, 0.0.0.3. Oh, and we got an adjacency there. What do you know? And the other serial interface is .12. Now notice here I've got a neighbor. There's a nice little command, show IP EIGRP neighbor, and it shows me who I'm directly connected to and who I have an adjacency with. So this is a nice little troubleshooting command so I can remember who my neighbors are supposed to be. Alright, I got one more router to go here real quickly. And the Redbud router only has 2 networks. And we have a neighbor, and the last network is 192. Okay, now if I do a show IP route, all these D's are telling me I learned these through EIGRP. And of course, here's my administrative distance, and here are my metrics. There's a nice command also called show EIGRP topology, which shows me all my feasible distances and if I have any feasible successors. So that wraps up my, oh, I should test it probably. Let's see if this is going to work. Uh-oh, not, there we go, success. So this finishes up EIGRP.